again by suing in a rap battle, which today was thrown out of federal court. His lawsuit against UMG and Kendrick Lamar has been dismissed. The allegedly defamatory statements are non-actionable opinion. In other words, Drake can't sue for defamation over the song lyrics. He cannot sue UMG. He knew, like Drake basically tried to claim that Kendrick's lyrics and images in the music video referring to him as a pedophile were false and dangerous. UMG promoted the track. The judge says even accusations of criminal behavior are not actionable if understood in context. They are opinion rather than fact. Translation: the fact that allegations are part of the diss track and not a news report means the average person would not interpret it as a fact. Therefore, Drake can't sue. The judge also says the average listener is not under the impression a diss track is a product of a thoughtful or disinterested investigation. The court also noted that Kendrick's pedophile line was a direct callback to Drake's lyrics in his previous diss track, Tailor Made Freestyle. A spokesperson for UMG tells TMZ from the outset this suit was an affront to all artists and their creative expression and never should have seen the light of day. We're pleased with the court's dismissal and look forward to continuing our work successfully promoting Drake's music and investing in his music career, aka get back to work, nigga. Sweatshop. You got albums to release. You have a budget to start recouping, nigga. Get out there, Toby.
It ain't even about the album. It's the get your ass back out on the road and do these shows for Live Nation. Yeah. That's it's like, we don't care. Like, at this point, when someone as big as him is like, look, man, we pay you all this money for you to keep pumping out albums. Why? So that you can get one hit record or two hit records off one album, and you go back out there and you do your rendition of hit records that you got for 2 hours or 3 hours long, or whatever else, for a show. That we can charge people $1,000 for a 200 section ticket.
I think the only thing that's sorrier than the thought of the lawsuit itself were the people that were trying to justify it and go up for it, saying, "Yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense." Like, we should get down with this. We should allow this to stand up and happen, and basically get an entire form of art thrown out and make sure nobody makes any more diss songs again. Like, just because of this nigga, he's not bigger than the program. Like, hell no, man. Like get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, not only does he have to live this down now, right? It could have just been the court of public opinion that Kendrick Lamar beat you, and that's it. The court of public opinion will hold that. But now it's not only the court of public opinion, it's the fucking federal court that has ruled this. This shit is on the books. Like, people are gonna be able to pull this case up. This is what the fucking United States government, like, it's got a fucking number assigned to it, and for the rest of time we'll be able to reference this shit and be like, this is what this asshole tried to do. And it wasn't enough for him to get bent over the knee. It wasn't enough for Euphoria. It wasn't enough for Meet the Grams. It wasn't enough for Not Like Us. He had to have his own record label be like, no, defend themselves against you. And then a judge, a person who knows what judge this was and what their interpretation of hip hop is, they clearly saw this for what it was. This was disgusting and embarrassing. And, like, if I was a Drake fan, I would just be like, what do you do now? Like, you just, like, continue to live in this alternate reality and act like these, these movie trailers are moving the needle that he's putting out. Do you just try to move on and pretend it ain't happened? Because look, there was a blueprint for how to handle a defeat. There was a blueprint, no pun intended, on how to handle that. Keep making hot records. Get your song in where you be like, all right, this is, how it went. You know how Jay-Z did with the blueprint too. Be like, it's a valuable lesson learned, so evens it up for me. But when the grass is cut, the snakes will show. Like, you just keep doing your thing. You put that out and then you move forward. But the Drake camp and the Drake stands have decided they wanted to be Trumpian. That's all this was. They tried to do January 6th over a rap battle. This courtroom, this fucking lawsuit was their version of January 6th, trying to storm the Capitol, literally, and overrule some shit that was been decided. No, nigga, like, the nigga ran it up to the Super Bowl on you. Get the fuck out of here, man.
So, and they still haven't stopped because the other day I saw someone talk about, this has been this thing about the unhappiness of what rap is now that like the women kind of dominated as far as like the hot records. They're like, where are the posse tracks, whatever else? And then people were like, oh, we had this one guy, but everyone started hating on him. It was like, no. They didn't start hating on him. They hate him because of things he's done behind the scenes and that got brought to light over the last 2 years, and that's why his head's on the top of a spike right now. Yeah, man. Like for me, you said this. You said this thing about like Drake fans. I would like to separate this out, right? I would like to go more granular on this. Drake's made too many records, too many hit records and hot records and all-time great songs for us not to be like, to an extent, we're all Drake fans, but we're talking about the Drake sickos and stans, to be more simply. Like, the people that are online and doing, and like...
The niggas with owls.
As he got his ass beat from pillar to post.
They're acting like it didn't happen.
From yon, from here to there, from near to far, from the heights of, from the penthouse to the basement. Like, they denied this at every turn because, they have these weird parasocial relationships with this dude that doesn't even think about them at all, right? And, like, the saddest thing is, like, it's one thing for Drake to come out and look like a loser and all this stuff, right? And not be able to handle the fact he took another L or whatever else. And it happens. Like, people take rap battles, as you mentioned with the Jay-Z thing. Like, you just move on. There's a winner and a loser, and your career's not over if unless you're Ja Rule, and you just move on and keep making good music, right? But it's one thing to handle it this way. It's another thing to be like a super fan of that guy.
They feel like they lost too, James.
What I'm saying is like, what's worse, Drake handling it this way with all his millions of dollars, or you online
fighting that war?
For free
with that owl in your profile on your name.
The OVO niggas.
Yeah, with the OVO in front of your name.
Like, bro, think of like the reputation or the credibility that was lost on some of these like well-known rap podcasts over this. Going to bat. Look, bro, OVO Mall will never die.
You gotta wear that
forever. Rory cutting that, doing his little side piece thing, saying like, yeah, this lawsuit makes sense because they cut a discount to get that record spun or whatever else, and it's like, actually, nah, not at all.
Actually, no.
And you're the one that actually like is far more,
reasonable,
reserved, and like actually still has a shred of credibility left when it came through all this stuff, right? Maul on the deep end, man. You doing this podcast on him, and that clown paint rubbing off on him.
Look, just another in the bad week of that entire camp. We saw Nicki Minaj last week, and
look, man. I never checked in on it, but I just saw some of the highlights, and it looked like she lost from my perspective from the tweets I saw. They got to me, but I saw it and heard that it went on for like multiple days, and I was like, "What is going on? Why?"
Yeah, man.
Y'all got that much time in y'all hands? Like, aren't y'all super famous and busy motherfuckers?
To calm down. But yeah, the Drake thing with just not being able to accept this rap battle defeat, and everything, as you mentioned, like there's entire industries of people that have made it their thing to talk about why Drake has not lost. Entire YouTube platforms, and just finding a way to carry the water rather than just be like, you know what? Yeah, he did lose. Like, you could have easily just like looked outside and saw which way the wind was blowing. But they didn't want to do that. I guess they doubled and tripled down and found it like more beneficial. While Drake has released an entire project since then, it has another one coming.
He's been releasing stuff.
Yeah, like that's the thing that's been so weird about this whole thing. And people talk about like, yeah,
we need Drake to come back and do X, Y, and Z.
Like, where did he
He's
go?
been here. He never left.
Where did he go?
Right. And that was the main thing before this even happened was like, bro, he needs to go away. He needs to go away for a certain amount of time and come back and let people miss him. He keeps dropping his music no one cares about, regardless, with different varying degrees of success or whatever else. Like, whatever. Like, you don't like Nokia, but like I heard it. Second I heard it, I was like, oh, that's gonna go. It went and is here, and like it has no lasting impact. It's not gonna be something that he plays 5 years from now, on when he does these tours.
Yeah.
And that's not like, whatever. It is what it is, but it's like, this dude has been around. People keep talking as if like
everything will die without him. They keep talking like everything will die without him. It will not. Rap will go on. Like, and I think people are scared about the state of the game or whatever, but it's like, if it's meant to go down, then it's meant to go down. It's meant to turn into something else.
I also have a better question for the way they talk about it is like, why do you give a fuck what major record labels are doing with rap music? And how much money these companies recruit off of ripping off these artists anyway? Why do you care?
Yeah, like if rap has to get smaller to basically survive, so be it. Like if it has to go like more towards independent artists and like more regionality and basically break all the way to fuck back up again or whatever. I grew up, in the mid 90s and the early 2000s with it like that. Like I liked that shit. So like, but a lot of these people were probably too young to have a memory like that. But
there's some of that. I mean, and look, keep in mind when we do this, right? We talk about that with WCW and like watching, cruiserweights or whatever else. When like AEW was around, I was like, bro, I don't give a fuck how big or tall a wrestler is. Are you good or not? Can you have a good match or not?
Yeah.
And other people have, they just actually I was thinking about this. I remember when earlier today. I remember the dude. There was some dude in in the old Facebook group chat that was arguing that like Ezekiel should be beating Finn Balor because he's big and Finn Balor is not.
Yeah, I recall that argument.
Flash forward, almost a decade. Somebody's still gainfully employed. The other one's been fired or let go years ago. Had to change his name. Had to do this gimmick where he was playing he's playing his brother or cousin or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, and I guess they're so married to the idea of Drake. Drake has been this overlording figure of rap, and it almost was like is never supposed to last this long for somebody, and he kind of broke the mold in that.
Yeah.
So I think this is a side effect, like the way these people are acting is like because they know they have no memory, and these are casual music listeners at best or whatever. It's not like they tried to dedicate a portion of their lives to like pursuing the craft or anything, or listen to the music and on a different level or analyzing it on a different level. They're not doing that. They just look up, and every summer Drake has a new song or whatever, and then it was like, what do we do without Drake? I was like, well, you more motherfuckers come along, like you find some new shit to listen to, right?
Yeah, I mean that is a part of that is a part of what's going on with we don't have to critically think. We're being made to not critically think as much or about stuff anymore, or a lot less. The computer's doing it for you.
Look, type it in Chat GPT. Then who are some new musicians? Right? Yeah, ask Grog who you should be listening to. Then,
so, the thing that's also interesting to me is like, no, I didn't hear too much of this. Right? Is like when GNX came out, like the reason why that first track, Whack Down Merles was important was because like people want to hear what he had to say post the beef, post the whole battle or whatever else. Like, and I thought he did that expertly in that track. And for the most part, the rest of GNX is just him doing whatever he wanted to. I guess you would say like TV was a direct nod to that, but like it's not. But it's in passing, right? Like, I turn this nigga TV on because I'm going to Super Bowl to play this song, right?
It's like, what you know about that?
Yeah. It's like,
that's just a victory lap.
Still talking shit for it. Like, it's in passing. It's a victory lap is what TV off is. But the one thing for me is like Drake has a chance to be to have people actually care what he has to say as far as like he has something interesting going around him or whatever else he could talk about on tracks. But we talked about this off air a week or two ago. It's like you go through his discography, it's like he's not really much of a storyteller in a like a complete direct narrative, whatever. It's like the not to do the Kendrick comparison, but like you go through like album like Good Kid, Mad City, or you go through Lupe Fiasco, Food and Liquor. It's like these are a lot of songs that are actually Lupe's first two albums. It's a lot of songs that are like story or structured in a story. There's a narrative and a plot, and it gets solved throughout that one song, right? A bunch of Biggie first two albums. Somebody's got to die. I got a story to tell. Warning, all that, right? Brenda's got a baby. Tupac. There's a bunch of those. Drake's never really done that. I was thinking to myself like, that's interesting. Not to say that he can't. It's just he's never done that, and it's interesting that like that. That's one of those things that just happens with rappers where you're like, I got a song where I got a story, some nonfiction thing or whatever, something I want to throw in that's a allegory to something. It never happened with him or in any particular real way. Not saying he can't tell a story. There's plenty of songs to tell stories. Like on Resistance where he talked about how the girl set him up to get robbed. Like that's a story. That's a true story apparently, right? But it's not like it's not the whole song. So like it's interesting that like he never thought of I'm in this particular moment and people want to hear what my headspace is on this. Like Jay-Z at least did that with, as you mentioned, Blueprint 2, that song.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess his whole thing is like
the post, like the what do you call it, the prologue on it. He's never.
I guess his that What Did I Miss song is like What Did I Miss, but he's basically no selling through that. It's like no, bro, it's not realistic. It's like because you're selling because you're suing. So like, what are you talking about? Right. What did I miss? You missed the lawsuit that you filed. Like that. That's.
I would say you that is a good point. What did I miss? However, play that with any other song that Drake has about fake enemies and fake friends over the last 15 years. Yep. It's not out of it. Like if you had played that in 2020 or 2021 as opposed to 2025, it'd be no different. It's like every other Drake song.
It could have been on if
fake enemies and talking in.
It could have been on If You Reading This Is Too Late.
Right. Like so, while you are right. It's not what do you call it? It's not pinpoint. It's not specific. Like you can put it on a Drake playlist of 12 songs talking about fake enemies.
That Give Me a Hug shit, like twerking with the dictionary and all that shit. It was just him, anti-intellectualism and
speaking of that, it's anti-intellectual. Also, it's a buddy. He called you a pedophile, and then what you said was, what will you do it if someone else got to torture me? You have girls up on stage 29 twerking with a dictionary. Sir, I turned 38 this year, which means Drake is 38 or 39. He turns 39 in October's very own. So he turns 39 this month.
Yeah.
He's a year older than me. So what you're saying is you at 28 or 38, 39, you're on stage at these shows performing for people or whatever it was, but the stripper can't be 29 and twerking. Why is that, Drake? You see what I'm saying? Like he's kiddie pool. You heard me say this before. He's just so superficial. He gives you nothing. Except everything that he says is exactly what he's thinking. There's no depth to it. There's no real depth to it. There's nothing wrong with that. I can give you a triple disc.
There's nothing wrong with this, but this is not somebody that we should have let run rap for 15 years. Like, this shit was wrong.
I wouldn't even say that. He's not somebody that me and you thought the same thing. He's not somebody that you put into the ring with Kendrick Lamar. You think, oh, this is gonna go well for him.
Yeah, that nigga was literally Terrence.
Me and you were both like, yo, Drake, this is a fight you don't take, and then he took it, and it's like, okay, buddy.
It's like, there's honor in taking the fight, but there's also honor in losing the fight as well. Like, and it's like if you can take the fight, you should be able to lose the fight.
and I also give him this. Like I've always said, Family Matters is better than I ever thought he would have done on a diss record. It's one of the greatest diss records of all time. It's so great that I don't think I've ever heard a diss record from somebody that just everyone just said, you lost this fight. You lost this battle.
That's why it's unbelievable, because it's like,
look,
that's why it's unbelievable. You know what it's almost like? It's like the nigga, it's like Charles Barkley, right? Like, yo, nigga, I scored 41 points. I scored 41 points, but this nigga Jordan had 50. Like I just lost. Yes. Like you lost. Yes. Like yes, nigga, you did your all-time best or whatever. You did better. This would have beaten anybody else except that other nigga was on the other side.
Yep.
And that's how the ball bounced.
And you know what? Going back to it, I think that's the reason why he did this lawsuit. Imagine you make that record,
bro. When you make that, you're supposed to.
Imagine you go back. Imagine you make that
shoot
record.
that video.
You go back, add that third verse with that third beat from Boy Wonder, and then all of a sudden it's batted away
in
within
20 minutes.
Hour.
It's so devastating, and it's like allow yourself to be devastated. And he was like, he just didn't know how to be devastated from it. It had to be bots. It had to be all this other shit. But it was like, no, man, it was rap. And like, it was an all-time rap battle, and you lost.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, like
what do you do? Get it. It's one of those things where I get why he went this route. But I get why he needed to go this route. But you never go the route of, let's get lawyers involved.
Yeah. That's like, oh, you want to tell the teacher after y'all was around the corner or whatever, and y'all duked it out, and he beat you, and then you want to go back inside and tell. That's what he did, and then them losers wanted to be like, yeah, you should tell. This wasn't right. Nah, man, like this was part of the game. Like, but unfortunately, this guy, where he comes from, he doesn't adhere to the rules of the game, you know. So, boy.
Look, I don't even care about the rules of the game or whatever else. Like, look, man, he a middle class dude. I'm a middle class dude, right? Street culture is something that I am familiar with.
Also, I'm not even talking about the streets.
But what I'm saying is, like, look, man, how are you going in a war of words with somebody? They outworded you, and then your response is, you know what? My feelings are hurt. I'm suing. That's just, it's different. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure that's what you meant, but I just wanted to put in further detail of how ridiculous this whole thing has been over the last 2 years. And it's like, it got to this point where nobody's shooting at each other. This isn't Game in 50 Cent. This isn't Biggie and Tupac. None of that. And he end up in court. Spending a whole bunch of money on billable hours that meant that it's only going to embarrass you further and further and further over the last year.
The only other person I've ever heard about suing possibly over diss tracks and rap, and he wasn't even a rapper, and you know where I'm going, Jerry Heller. Like that's what this is, man. Like
I don't want to make a connection there. I'm not making that connection there. I'm leaving that alone.
Look,
I'm not touching
there is a connection there.
I'm not doing that. I have.
Look, hey, nope. Hold on. Look, for those that are on video, I am going to reenact a GIF. I'm not going to say who it is.
God damn it. Oh my god.
So, yeah, man. So,
I quite frankly think that they're both being a part of Pastrami Posse is just purely coincidence. I'm not going no further than that. I'm leaving it alone. That's the funniest thing about this whole thing over the last year. Is like Rick Ross able to get that off, and no one checked him for that. I still can't believe that was slid.
That's just an incredible, circumstance there. But, Cash Money versus No Limit.